Good day everyone, myself Tripti Mishra. Today we are going to discuss class 8th chapter number 4 materials, metals and non-metals exercise solutions and its explanation. Question number 1 is which of the following can be beaten into thin sheets? As you know, metals can be beaten into thin sheets. Metals have the tendency that when we are beaten to them, they will convert into the thin sheets, and this property is called malleability. It is called malleability. So out of these four options, we have to find out which one is metal that will show malleability and can be beaten into thin sheet. Now here zinc is metal, phosphorus is not a metal, sulfur is also not a metal, and oxygen is also not a metal. That's why the correct answer is zinc. Zinc is a metal and metal has the property of malleability, can be converted in sheet by beating. Rest of these are non-metals. Second question is, which of the following statement is correct? A. All metals are ductile. B. All non-metals are ductile. C. Generally metals are ductile. D. Some non-metals are ductile. First of all, we should know what is the ductile. Ductility is a nature, is a characteristic property of the metals. Okay, so ductility means it can be drawn into thin wire. The property of metal by which it can be drawn into wires is called ductility. But all metals are not ductile, because likewise mercury is a metal, but it is not ductile. It cannot be drawn into the wires. That's why our first statement A will be wrong, because all metals are not ductile. All non-metals are ductile? No, non-metals are also not ductile. So this statement will also be wrong. Next is generally metals are ductile. Yes, generally the metals are ductile. This is correct. And some non-metals are ductile. That is also wrong. Non-metals are non-ductile. So correct answer is C. Generally metals are ductile. Mercury is a metal, is liquid, but it is liquid at room temperature and cannot be drawn into wires. Therefore, it is non-ductile. So the option A is incorrect. Not a single non-metal is ductile. So option B and D are also incorrect. Question number 3 is fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Question number 3. A. Phosphorus is very reactive non-metal. As we have studied in the chapter also, phosphorus is very reactive non-metal. Then metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. As we have studied, metals are good conductor of heat, metals are good conductor of electricity. So here in this good and here electricity. C. Iron is more reactive than copper. Iron is reactive than copper. It is more reactive. In the activity also we have seen iron is more reactive than copper. Metals react with acids to produce hydrogen gas, and hydrogen gas burns with pop sound. That is the how to test that there is the hydrogen gas is evolved, that if we bring a burning matchstick to the beaker, then it will burn with the pop sound. So hydrogen gas, metals react with the acids and produces hydrogen gas. Question number 4 is mark T if the statement is true and F if the statement is false. So these with the explanation as answers will be statement A is generally non-metals react with acids. Generally non-metals, here it is non-metals. Non-metals react with acids. No, generally metals react with acids, and that's why this statement and produces hydrogen gas. This statement is false. Generally metals react with acids and release hydrogen gas, not the non-metals. B is sodium is a very reactive metal. So yes, sodium is very reactive metal, including sodium, potassium, calcium, etc. are very reactive metals. So this statement is true. C. Copper displaces zinc from zinc sulfate solution. It is false, as we have also studied in the chapter. Zinc is more reactive than copper. So copper is not able to displace the zinc from its salt solution. So this statement is false. D is coal can be drawn into wires. Here it is coal. Coal is a non-metal, and non-metals cannot be drawn into the wires. So this is also false. Question number 5 is, some properties are listed in the following table. Distinguish between metals and non-metals on the basis of these properties. So here in the properties are given appearance, hardness, malleability, ductility, heat conduction and conduction of electricity. On that basis we have to distinguish in between metals and non-metals. Here first property is appearance. Appearance, as we have studied in the chapter, metals have a shiny appearance which is also called lustrous. Lustrous means shiny appearance, while non-metals did not show this shiny appearance and they appear dull. So their appearance is dull. Next is the hardness. So as we have studied and also in our day-to-day life, iron, aluminium, copper, these all are the metals and they are very hard, while coal, sulfur, that are not very hard, they are called soft. Malleability is the property that if we beat them then they will convert into thin sheet, and this is the property shown by the metals. Likewise, we are preparing the silver foil, we are preparing the aluminium foil for wrapping food. That is the property of metals, and non-metals are non-malleable. Then ductility is the property that we can draw the metals into wire, that is shown by the metals. So it is the property of metals. We can draw the wire of the iron, copper, aluminium, also silver, gold wires, we can draw them. But non-metals are non-ductile, we cannot draw the non-metals into the wire. Heat conduction, as you know, we are preparing the cooking vessels for by the metals, because metals are the good conductor of heat, while we are preparing the handles of the pans and cookers by the non-metals, because non-metals are the poor conductor or bad conductor of heat. Next is the conduction of electricity. As you can observe in your day-to-day life, all the electrical wires are made by the copper. So metals are the conductor of electricity. Iron, copper, silver, they are the good conductor of electricity. So generally metals are the good conductor of electricity, while wires are covered with the non-metallic rubber or plastic, which we can say wood, rubber, plastic, they all are the non-metals, and they are the poor conductor of electricity. So non-metals are poor conductor or bad conductor of. Question number 6 is, give reason for the following. A. Aluminium foil are used to wrap food items. As you know, aluminium is a metal, and metals can be, if we are beating the metals, they are converting into the thin sheets easily. They can be converted into thin sheets, and that can be used for wrapping the food. So aluminium foil are used to wrap food items because aluminium is highly malleable. It can be beaten into thin sheets. Moreover, it does not react with the food. So we can use the aluminium foil for wrapping food. B is immersion rods for heating liquids are made up of metallic substances, because we know metals are the good conductor of heat and electricity. Therefore, immersion rods for heating liquids are made up of metallic substances. C is copper cannot displace zinc from its salt solution, as we know that zinc is more reactive than copper. So, copper cannot displace the zinc from its salt solution. The reactivity of zinc is higher than copper. Only a metal of higher reactivity can displace a metal of lower reactivity from its salt solution. So copper cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate solution. Fourth, D is sodium and potassium are stored in kerosene. As in the chapter we have studied, sodium and potassium are very reactive metals. They react with the environmental moisture and oxygen and start burning. That's why to stop this reaction we have to keep them into the kerosene. So here sodium and potassium are highly reactive metals. They can catch fire even when they come in contact with air. So they have to be kept in kerosene. Question number 7 is, can you store lemon pickle in aluminium utensil? We know lemon pickle is a acid and aluminium stencil is a metal, and as we know, when acid react with metal, it produces salt plus hydrogen gas. Then this salts and hydrogen gas are not good for our health. That's why we should not keep the lemon pickle into the aluminium utensil. So here it is written, no, we cannot store lemon pickle in aluminium utensil, as metals react with acids to liberate hydrogen gas. The pickle, which is acidic in nature, can be spoiled. So that is the reason we should not store lemon pickle in aluminium utensil. Question number 8 is, in the following table, substances are given in column 1. In column 2, some uses are given. Match the items in column 1 with those in column 2. So here, gold, where the gold is used, as we know, gold is used for making jewelry. So here gold with the jewelry. Iron is used to make machineries. So iron will be matched with the E, machinery. Then aluminium is we are generally preparing the wrapping food. Aluminium foil is used for wrapping food. So this third will be matched with the C. Fourth is carbon. Carbon is a fuel. So this fourth will be connected with the F, fuel. Copper is making the electrical wires. So it will be connected with B. Then mercury is a liquid metal which is used in the thermometers. So that is connected with A. So it is also shown in the downside table. Gold with jewelry, iron, machinery, aluminium is used for wrapping food, carbon is used as fuel, copper is used for making electrical wires, and mercury is used in thermometers. Question number 9 is, what happens when a dilute sulfuric acid is poured on a copper plate? As we know, dilute sulfuric acid is an acid and copper plate is a metal. Copper is the metal. So when the copper symbol is Cu, sulfuric acid symbol is H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Here when any metal react with any acid, they produces salt plus hydrogen gas. Here the salt produces copper and sulfate, that is the copper sulfate CuSO4 plus hydrogen gas H2. that is gas. So this is the reaction. Whenever copper dilute sulfuric acid is poured on a copper plate, there is the production of copper sulfate and hydrogen gas is evolved. Copper does not react with sulfuric acid. When concentrated sulfuric, that is also be remembered that it is dilute. So copper is not very reactive metal, so it will not react with the dilute. But when the concentrated sulfuric acid is poured, just concentrated is means in which the concentration is more, and diluted in which is dilute, it's in which solvent is more and sulfuric acid is less. So concentrated sulfuric acid is poured on a copper plate. Copper react with sulfuric acid to liberate hydrogen gas. Next, B is iron nails are placed in copper sulfate solution. This is also given in the activity that if we put the iron nails into the copper sulfate solution, iron is more reactive than copper. Iron is more reactive than copper, so it can displace the copper and it forms iron sulfate and copper will be displaces. Then here iron symbol is Fe, copper sulfate symbol is CuSO4. When they are reacting, this is blue in color, copper sulfate is blue in color, copper sulfate solution is blue in color, then it will forms, iron is more reactive than copper, it will displace the copper and it will form iron sulfate, which is fade in color, and copper will be displaced. The reactivity of iron is more than copper, so iron will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. In this reaction, the blue color of copper sulfate fades. Question number 10 is, Saloni took a piece of burning charcoal and collected the gas evolved in a test tube. How will she find the nature of the gas? B. Write down Ward's equation of all the reactions taking place in this process. Here it is burning charcoal. Burning charcoal means it is carbon. Burning charcoal is the carbon, and when it is burned, it is reacting with the oxygen gas. Whenever the substance is burned, they react with the oxygen gas and they forms carbon dioxide. So collected the gas evolved. So gas evolved is carbon dioxide in a test tube. She collected the gas in a test tube. How will she find the nature of gas? For finding the nature of the gas, we have to make its solution in water and then we can check it with the litmus paper. As we have seen in the other test also, we seen in the NCERT book in the chapter that we will check it. First we will mix it with some water and then we will check it with the litmus paper by the red or blue litmus paper. Here blue litmus turns red, it means that is acidic in nature. So for the answer A, we will write, add some water in the test tube in which gas is collected. Now cover the test tube, shake it well, test the solution with blue litmus and red litmus. Blue litmus turns red and thus we can say that the nature of gas is acidic. So here carbon dioxide gas is acidic. Then B is, write down Ward equations of all the reactions taking place in this process. Word equation will be C carbon, charcoal means carbon, plus burning means oxygen, reacting with the oxygen O2 and it form carbon dioxide CO2. That is the word equation. Question number 11 is, one day Rita went to a jewelry shop with her mother. Her mother gave old gold jewelry to the goldsmith to polish. Next day, when they brought the jewelry back, they found that there was a slight loss in its weight. Can you suggest a reason for the loss in weight? Here, To polish a gold ornament, it is dipped into the acid, and that acid is aqua regia. That is the mixture of hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. Aqua regia is a mixture of hydrochloric acid and nitric acid concentrated, and when it is dipped, the gold is dipped into the acid. Some of the gold dissolve into the acid, and that's why there is the loss of the gold. So the outer layer of gold dissolve in the acid, and the inner layer, shiny layer, is visible. Because of the loss of upper layer of jewelry, its weight is reduced. That's why they find that there is the slight loss in the weight of the jewelry. So that was all the exercise questions of chapter number 4, materials, metals and non-metals. So friends, like the video, share the video with your other friends, and also subscribe the YouTube channel NCERT Science Mantra. Also press the bell icon so that as I will upload the next video, you will get the notification. I will also provide the link of other class 8th video in the description box. Thank you.